So Nadia, I will leave it to you. I will introduce you. You had not sent me an introduction, but I know Nadia has written Woke Up Dead, and she just celebrated her 1 year anniversary of being published. Our theme for September is getting published, and I've heard her talk about the trials and tribulations and lessons learned of getting published, and I've asked her to share that with us today. So without further ado, Nadia Gilks.
Thank you so much, Jean, and thank you, fellow Toastmasters, and all of you lovely authors and aspiring authors out there. Right off the bat, I want to see if we are on the same page. You can put it in the chat, but I want to know from you, what is the most important or the most critical part of releasing your book, the book publishing process? Which part of that do you think is the most important item on your list? Is it the writing? Is it the editing? Is it the designing? Is it the finding a distributor? Okay, getting started, editing, all right. Finishing is very important. That is true. If you don't have a manuscript, you don't have too much else. Organizing, doing it. All of those things I would say are extremely important. I'm going to share my screen and take you on a journey of how I got published and what I fell into that I felt was, I won't say pitfalls, I would just say lots of opportunity for improvements here. Now, if you ask me what was the most critical part, what I think the most important piece of having a book in the marketplace is, I would say it's your book cover. You can have the most amazing information stuffed in your book, and if it doesn't catch people's interest and make them pick it up when they're looking at a sea of books on those new release racks, then whatever's inside your book really doesn't matter. I toiled for about 6 months over the book cover to Woke Up Dead. When they say blood, sweat, and tears, this is where most of my tears came in. Now, I want to start with a disclaimer that what you're going to see are my first drafts that I received from certain people. As I go through this journey with you, know that these weren't meant to necessarily be final drafts, but as I take you on my journey, you'll know why most of these just didn't work, first draft, last draft, or otherwise. My first tidbit for those of you starting out with looking at who might design your book cover, if you're not a graphic designer and doing it yourself, which I am not, so I had to hire help, know that as with everything else in life, you're going to get what you pay for. The first company that I came across, it felt like divine timing. I was almost done with the book. I had an idea what I wanted the book cover to look like. And I come across this ad on Facebook that said, we design book covers for $99. Holy shiz, what a steal. So I thought. What it really ended up being was a waste of my time and money. The first chapter of my book is where a lot of the excitement takes place. You have this character that's waking up at her own funeral, and there's all this chaos because most of the people that attended don't expect the person in the casket to just pop on up and say, hey, not really dead. So you've got people running and scampering, and you've got the person looking all shocked. And that's what I was imagining for the book cover, depicting somewhat of that chaos of the scene, or at very least, the viewpoint of the audience member looking at the casket as you see this woman with a shock expression looking back at you. And it was going to be all fantastic. So I relay this to Miss $99 and I Can Do Miracles, and she gives me this back, which wasn't bad. I just felt that the woman looks kind of at an unnatural angle angle coming out of the casket, and she kind of looks like she really didn't want to wake up. And then the church itself looks a little more Catholic. So I said, well, African American churches don't quite look like that. So can you make it look more like an African American church? And we need to work on the girl. But the casket's very pretty. It's actually too nice for how it was depicted in the book. And, you know, other pieces I kind of like. She goes back to her drawing board. She comes back to me with this. This made me angry. I was like, okay, Black people do have nice churches. I don't know what this is with shingles in the back and a sad looking cross. No. We had some words after I saw this picture. The words were mainly in anger on my part. And then we parted ways, not so amicably. Oh, well. So that was designer number one. Then I came across this amazing company called 99 Designs, where you pay $400 and you pitch us an idea, and up to 99 designers will see your job and they will give you all of these great designs back. So you can either guide them and tell them what you want, or if you have no idea what you want, you can just tell them about your book and they will create something for you. I thought, this is genius. So I did one bid where I told them what I wanted, and I did one bid and said, just roam free. And if you don't pick a design within a certain time, you do get your money back, which is good. Or you can pay a higher fee and guarantee that you'll go with one of the designers. And then supposedly they put a little more effort into the work because they know it's a guarantee. So it's one of those things where you really have to decide what you're going to do. Well, I kind of have commitment issues where it comes to letting go of money. So I didn't make the guarantee. And I had a handful of designers give me a design back. So this was one of the designs I got. The church looks a little cold and sterile because he did that in the black and white. Still looks a bit Catholic to me. The casket is okay, but it looks a little manly. The woman kind of looks like she's in the throes of passion. So that expression isn't quite right, but the flowers are nice. So there's something to work with here. So I didn't really ditch this one immediately. So I said, well, you know, it's only been a couple days. Let me wait out this 7-day period or whatever it was and see what else we got. And we got a few more things. So there's this one. Her hair is nice. I'm not sure why she's sitting on top of the casket. I'm not sure why she's wearing jeans. But her hair is nice. Silver lining. Something to work with. Decided this probably is going to be one I'm going to reject right away. Let's see what else we get. This doesn't even make sense. This doesn't tell me anything about a funeral might be happening. I don't know if she's like sipping tea because she's going to gossip after, like, girl, let me tell you what happened when I woke up. Like, I don't really know what the cup of tea, I don't know. Her hair is nice. Everybody gave me great hair. That's great. But again, this isn't really hitting the mark. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do with this to suggest you to make recommendations. Like, this is just nowhere near what I need or asked for. So we kept going. And then we got this. We've got a naked girl who appears to be at a beach looking through binoculars, and for some reason she sees caskets through binoculars. I don't know. I don't really know where this person was going, but I got it in an array of colors. So I can choose any backdrop that I want for the naked girl on the beach. Didn't go with this one either. And then there was this, and I want to say this gentleman was in Sweden. When you're at your wit's end, this isn't looking so bad. So I got very close to going back to him and saying, maybe we could work this out. Again, I don't know why the person's sitting on top of the casket, and I don't know why the title's in a thought bubble, but as like worst comes to worst, kind of could work with this, but this was kind of also my breaking point. So it was around this moment that I called Malik in tears. And poor Malik is trying his hardest, like, oh my God, okay, I got a program on my computer. I'm not a graphic designer, but let me try and fix something for, like, poor Malik was just like, oh my God, she's either gonna jump off a bridge or kill somebody, and I gotta fix it. So he tried to do whatever he could do, throw out suggestions. You know, we kind of worked through it, but we're not graphic designers. Like, we need someone. So I cancel all these jobs and get my money back from 99 Designs, and I'm still out there. Now I'm almost at the end of the editing process, and I still, through this, at this point, 6-month journey, have no book cover. And then I happened to be in Austin, Texas one day, and I take a walk around a neighborhood, and I happen to pass an art supply store where artists go to get their materials. And around that entire building was murals that were done by local artists. And I said, that's it. Maybe I don't need some crappy Photoshop design and graphic artists. Maybe I just need someone to draw a book cover. I took pictures of the entire building. Every artist had signed with their Instagram handle, and I'm on Instagram writing everyone that I could find, trying to find someone to do a book cover. And I fall into the lovely arms of this woman named Aerica, who said, you know what? I don't even think you need all that on the cover. You just need it to be intriguing and fun and enough to get people to pick up the book, but you don't have to put your whole dramatic scene on the cover. How about a funeral wreath? And I was like, that's genius. I never would have thought it. I mean, my mind didn't even go in that direction. So I said, you know what? Go forth and prosper, do this wreath. And she sends me a couple of drafts. I approve a draft. She gets going, draws for nearly 20 hours straight, and comes up with this, which ended up being my book cover. Totally the opposite of what I thought I wanted. Nowhere in the range of what I was going for initially, and ended up being, in my opinion, so perfect. We went with the yellow cover because when I went to the bookstores, you don't see a lot of yellow books, and I wanted mine to stand out. And then we went with bright and sunny colors because I wanted people to know this isn't skulls and crossbones, it's a humorous story. And to me, it was just perfect. Thank God for Aerica. So my little tidbit, when you're going towards your book cover journey, be open-minded. Unless you are really, really sure of what you want or need, be open to other people's input, ideas, because they may come up with something genius that you hadn't even thought of. And that was definitely the case for me and this book. And I can't see my timer, unfortunately. I don't know where we are in time. Do I have like 5 more minutes? Thumbs up, Jean.
Well, you're on red, but let's go ahead. Let's 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes. Okay. So quoting music lyrics. So if you're going to do that, and I would strongly say don't, but if you're going to do that, you're likely going to go through 2 companies, either Sony ATV or Hale Leonard. Now you want to give yourself a good bit of time because this process also took me a while, about 3 months, because you're going back and forth with publishers. But you don't want to quote lyrics unless you have a proper licensing, because, you know, I don't want to count anybody's money in their bank account, but I'm going to say Sony has a lot more money than you do, and they have way better lawyers, and they're going to use them. So if they happen to catch you using lyrics without their permission, it's going to be a really, really bad experience for you. They have paid the money for their lawyers to make sure of that. So make sure that you are quoting your music lyrics properly, and you have to be aware that some songs have 5 or 6 writers who may have several different publishers. You're going to need permission from all of them. So just be very careful when you venture down this road. If you need more information on that, I can walk you down that path later. And then the gift that keeps on giving. And no, I'm not talking about herpes. I'm talking about Amazon. So you really need to be wary of Amazon. There are some pitfalls that you can fall into. One thing to know, Amazon loves exclusivity. So if you're going to do Amazon, you want to make sure you're reading every contract that they are popping up on your screen, because it's all electronic and we all just like to click OK and keep going. Don't just click OK and keep going. Make sure you read everything that you're agreeing to before you put your book up there. Most people have a really great experience with Amazon. Many people have gotten sued. So again, if you need more information on picking a distributor, I can assist you with that as you near that bridge as well. This has been the pitfalls and the lessons learned of my journey, but all in all, I have a book in the marketplace that I am so proud of, from the front cover to the back cover and everything in between. It turned out exactly how I wanted, and that's the feeling you want to have. So even though there may be pitfalls, it is definitely worth the journey. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nadia. I'm going to see if Nita wants to step up to the plate. But I will say, now that you're distanced it enough, you probably got a lot of good laughs over some of those covers.